So you will start at 11 sharp?
Sorry, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be starting at 11 sharp. So at max, we'll wait for another 2 to 3 minutes for the delegates to join in. So if by delay, we'll start at 11:05.
Good.
Good morning, Dr. Gupta.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Such a
Good morning,
pleasure.
sir.
Good morning.
Sir, Jamis sir, do you have any presentations you will be sharing?
Yes, I will just try sharing it and then see if that is okay.
All right, sir.
Okay, I will just try, see if I get to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think it should be fine now. I have enabled everything, so it should work. All right, let me try sharing one more time. It didn't make it in the
Yes.
last time. Okay. It doesn't take my PowerPoint from here. Is there any permission that you have to give for screen sharing?
Sorry, sir. So your voice is coming a little bit closer.
Is there any permissions that you may have to give for screen sharing for me?
Yes, sir.
Already given, sir. Already,
Yes,
sir.
sir, I guess
Yeah.
it's already granted.
Yeah,
Sir.
I'm trying, but I do not get permission for the
right, sir.
PowerPoint. Let me try again.
Yes, sir. So we'll quickly confirm. Vedant, if possible, please do grant the
Yes,
permission
it
for
has
sharing.
been done. The permission for sharing screen has been given.
All right.
I see. No, it doesn't. It doesn't permit me to share the
Whether make sir as co-host, then it will be. Sir, it has been given, sir. Please check now, sir.
I will try again. Let's see.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, I will have to quit and start it again because that is the way to get permission for Zoom for sharing my screen. So I may have to quit now and then start all over again.
You can present, sir. You can have the technical checks.
So once sir joins back, please permit him. Please have a look for him.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Very good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing? All
Good,
well?
sir. Good, sir. How are you, sir?
Very good.
Good morning, Professor Ratinam.
Morning, sir. Morning, sir. Sir, you are admitted, sir. Now you may check, sir. Jimmy, sir.
It's 11 o'clock.
Yes, I think now it should be working.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Right. Okay. I think we don't have to check anything further.
Sir, you're presenting, sir. Your slide is visible, but it is not changing.
Say it again.
It's not changing much. Yes, now there is a change.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it is.
So I will now get out of this.
Yes, sir.
You're able to see the presentation, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So you can stop my sharing. Let me try if I can do it myself so that there is no confusion for others. I will stop it now. Yeah.
Starting in another 4 minutes, sir. Good morning, Atul, sir. Good morning, everyone. We will be starting shortly. We request you all to please be patient. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Dr. Gurtu.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you doing?
Well, doing fine as well as one can do in these times, COVID times, but never mind.
Yes.
But they were good to be together.
Yes.
Sir. Very good morning, sirs. And we have our Dean, sir, College of Engineering Technology, Professor Gopal, sir, with us today. Yes, sir.
Very good morning to all, sir. Welcome,
Good morning,
welcome to the Arush.
Man.
So we'll be beginning in another 2 minutes. Good morning, everyone. We will be starting shortly. We request you all to please be patient.
You see, when you give a program, minute-to-minute program, one gets the impression that you are going to be very precise. Are you hearing what I'm telling?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So when you give time 10:22 to 07 minutes and all that, that means you are going to be true to 1 minute. And here you are already 4 minutes late.
Extremely sorry, sir. We are
No,
just waiting for the delivery.
Professor Ratnam, what is that you want to wait? Why is it you want to wait?
Just 2 minutes settling down, sir, and we are admitting the people. I have admitted now, sir.
Okay,
Admitting the participants, sir. Just
fine.
we're ready, sir. Now can start.
So with your permission, I will be.
Suti, you can be little louder, and we can start now.
Yes, sir. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, yes.
So with your permission, we will be beginning the session. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. A few great words marked by Thomas Alva Edison. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all the dignitaries, our esteemed guests, members of the faculty, all the students and everyone present here. It gives us Stuti Chauhan and
Abhilasha.
great honor and privilege to welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony of the most awaited conclave of the organized by Arush, Tea Summit 6.0.
It is our duty as the prevailing members of society to become the pioneers of the future and guide the coming generations after us to a better tomorrow. As a single person, our efforts may fall short, but together we can take the leap of faith into the future. There is no guidebook for leading change, no compass, treasure map, or well-trodden path to follow. During each trek, change agents must act as their own guides on the challenging terrain ahead, and thus we should aim to become those agents of change.
Peace Summit, a two-week conclave, aims for building of a unique society where everyone is recognized and given the opportunity to show their social prowess and innovate into the better world. We have been through a pandemic and still we stand more steady and determined. Our minds have not only expanded to new horizons, they have established new limits. And this is what we want to explore. We want to explore the limits of the young minds present here through constructive debates and discussions and stretch the borders of your imaginations, as you will be the ones laying down the rules for the better future. You will be the ones who will lead the world.
Before moving forward with the ceremony, we have the honor on behalf of Team Arush to extend our gratitude to the dignitaries present here. Thank you all for joining us today for the 6th edition of Tea Summit to inspire the budding minds with your considerable expertise and guidance. We are honored to have you all with us.
Organization grows stronger where there is endless support, dedication, hard work, and well wishes. The Arush team constantly grows stronger due to the endless dedication and support shown by our peers. We would have taken a great honor to welcome Professor Dr. A. Ratnam sir, the convener of Arush, who has been an inspiration over 16 editions. It is the guiding light this organization relies on. Sir, we request you to come forth and address the gathering.
Thank you. A very good morning to all present here. As by the quote of Bill Gates, never before in history has innovation offered promises of so much to so many. Sorry. So short a time. Greetings and a warm welcome to one and all present here. I am extremely happy and honored to welcome you for the 6th edition of Arush Technical Summit, the Tea Summit, an unique initiative by Team Arush to advance the evolution of technology and to assess its true purpose in order to integrate it in the past and present and future eras. In terms of innovation and diverse applications, each of the last 5 editions has concluded as more massive and productive than the preceding ones. Like all other former summits, this year's summit will strive to uphold quality over quantity, obtain conclusions with optimal social relevance, and implement deliberations and encourage unique thinking. It is my honor to and also for our great institution SRMIST to be able to host this significant summit at such a large scale. I would like to take this opportunity to cordially welcome our esteemed dignitaries who are here with us today, Dr. Harsh Kumar Gupta and Mr. E.D. Jamis, Mr. Atul Gutru sir, and our own patron, Dean CET, Dr. T.V. Gopal sir. We are very grateful and also immensely thankful to have you here with us. I would like to also welcome the representatives of all the colleges, the 25 colleges who have shown their interest and agreed upon being with us for these 2 days, who are present here and started deliberating with us to broaden and diversify their skills and expertise. Arush aims to inculcate a spirit of competition and growth. Throughout the year, several workshops and competitions are held in collaboration with reputable firms such as Microsoft, IBM, BMW, and so on, broadening the scope to realize that the pursuit of knowledge is never ending. As we said,
Hello, we will get 50. Hello.
sorry for the disturbance. So as we set foot into the 16th edition, we stand proud, steering the wheels of revolution and progressing towards innovation. The presence of various distinguished guests amplified the intensity and the grandeur of the occasion of the Tea Summit, the first online edition, which witnessed participation for 24 colleges across the India last year. This year, we'll be holding discussions on varieties of fascinating ideas and agendas, which we have initially chosen were the 10 agendas, which are student optimization development cells, financial modeling and wealth management in colleges, self-sustainable campus action with automated technology, zero hunger, which is one of the SDGs, esports and augmented reality as professional career, digital and mental well-being of students post-pandemic, women entrepreneurship, strengthening alumni relations and constructing framework for career guidance, actions taken for prevention precautions regarding disaster management, promoting sustainable agriculture and rural development. Out of these 10 agendas, which has been deliberated and finalized for circulating about the institutions and colleges, we have come up with 4 for the major discussions this year. So we will once again create the synergy between the talents and ideas across the forum. And once again, I offer a very warm welcome to our respected dignitaries present here and also the participants and delegates from all the colleges. Especially for the delegates, be prepared, go ahead and brainstorm the diverse applications and evolution of some of the most utilized technologies. Moreover, keep in mind that the plans you create for the future of society should not be locked in the past. So I am very optimistic that this year's summit will result in meaningful conversations, and you will note that and implement that in the campuses and come back and share your experiences for the benefit of other colleges. So I wish this summit the best of luck and always convey my best regards and best to all the delegates. And once again, very much thankful for all the dignitaries to take up their valuable time and being here and helping us in conducting this inaugural function in a most best possible way. Thank you again. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, delegates.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. It is always a pleasure to hear from you. Your constant guidance and advice has been crucial to the conception of this summit, and we are eternally grateful to you for leading the team on the path of innovation. This summit shall stand as a testament to your vision and the efforts of this organizing team. I'd now like to request our esteemed mentor, who has always been an academic leader, previously served as the Dean of International Relations and currently handles the biggest faculty of the Institute, Dr. T.V. Gopal sir, Dean of the College of Engineering and Technology, to please give the presidential address.
Thank you, Abhilasha. Esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Harsh Kumar Gupta, former Director, National Geophysical Research Institute, Hyderabad. Our special guest and mentor, Dr. Atul Guttu, former leader of Indian team, CERN, Geneva. Our guest of honor, Mr. Jemis, Professor, Theoretical Physics, Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. A very good, and all the other delegates here, and my colleagues and students, a very good morning. It's a true pleasure for me to welcome all the dignitaries present here to Tea Summit 6.0, a two-day conclave where we will encounter the brewing of ideas and reforms in technology that are empowering, enriching, and enlightening. The reason we are all gathered here today is to give a platform to our youth who have in them the desire to bring innovations on the table in terms of technology and tirelessly strive for a social idea that can change the world. The presence of Dr. Harsh Kumar Gupta, Jemis and Atul Gurtu are extremely humbling for us and motivates us to achieve extraordinarily. A warm welcome to all the delegates once again who have joined us from all over India. All of you represent the elite of your batch, and it's a matter of appeasement to see you make an endeavor that might bring about a difference in social innovation. Just a few words about SRM IST. Probably you would have already been aware of all these things, but just for information's sake, since its inception in the year 1985, SRM Institute of Science and Technology has proved its merit to stand along with India's premier educational institutes, with accreditations from the national agencies like NBA, NAC, and of course recognition by UGC and AICTE, bestowing knowledge to over 52,000 students, not only from India, but all over the world. SRM provides education for undergraduates, postgraduates, and doctorates with a lot of collaborations and innovative pedagogy and other things. Technology has helped immensely to boost access to large amounts of information and has supported changes that have transformed our lives forever. The innovative potential of youth combined with the power of technology is already proving to be a powerful force on the road to achieving success. Over the following years, Arush has grown without bounds as one of the country's leading techno management fest and has since become a sought-after platform for technical innovation and a miscellany of creative minds. Arush commenced in 2007 and has grown to manifest itself into this incredible organization that has built a global community of like-minded individuals. What originated as an idea of 4 students has crowned in a legacy that drives itself higher on the ascent towards infinity, which has been the theme of the fest for our 15 editions. I'm really appreciative and glad that Professor Rathinam has been steering this Arush event right from the inception, I believe. And it's an extraordinary effort from him. And he has been doing this Arush, taking it to the very highest level, just because of his passion and dedication and the student-friendly approach. In fact, probably that had made the administration to choose him as a director for alumni, because he has been interacting with all the students right from first year to the final years. Over the years, numerous illustrious individuals, along with the likes of the late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who inaugurated the premier edition, have graced us with their presence. Since the first edition, Arush has grown multifold from having a footfall of 4,500 in 2007 to 63,000 in 2020, which was the first ever online edition. The fest aims to instill a sense of growth with over 60 events across multidisciplinary branches of science, technology, and management. With continuous efforts Tea Summit has always aimed at presenting the brilliant-minded youth to the world with their utmost gravity towards the advancement of the summit and the technical fest, and has beheld youth representing various colleges patronizing individual perspectives about progress. Since the inception of Tea Summit, Arush has taken up various actions and initiatives to help our youth and those in need. Some of the most prominent steps taken by Arush include Slingshot, a platform for young entrepreneurs; Arush Educates, an education platform for the underprivileged; and Litter of Light, a campaign to provide cost-effective and sustainable lighting for impoverished households. The fest ensures that we encourage and motivate every move of the students in the direction of novel thinking and innovative problem solving. Tea Summit is such a platform that aims to give the opportunity to conceive and exchange ideas with peers from around the country, which is sure to give a wider outlook, a more open mindset, and a better understanding of their horizon. Tech fests are keys that unlock the world of knowledge, empowerment, and innovation. They provide with an environment that pushes to explore the students' academic, artistic, entrepreneurial, and various other pursuits, and leaves with a box full of incredible new ideas. Summits like this help students emerge. The expectations of the participants, as goes without saying, has always been to march towards furtherance of the summit. It is the duty to seize the flame of exposure and experience that has been passed to you as students through this event and pass it on as an inferno. If we look back at the achievements of the previous summits, we can see how we have come up with impressive ideas for the progress of the society. Wishing each one of you the very best, I hope that you make the most of the 2 days and make this edition a more remarkable and a memorable one than the past. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your impactful words. I'm sure that your words have inspired and ignited young minds present here today to be the beacon of change for tomorrow. We are sincerely grateful for your constant guidance and support, sir. Thank you again, sir. It is a true honor to have the opportunity of hosting someone as esteemed as Dr. Harsh Kumar Gupta. He's a man of many accolades to his name. Sir has served as the director of the National Geophysical Research Institute, NGRI, Hyderabad, for nearly a decade from 1992. Sir is the recipient of Padma Shri 2006 and the first and only scientist in the developing world to be awarded the Wallow E. Smith Medal by American Geophysical Union. His visionary leadership led NGRI to use the pool of basic research capabilities to address the country's needs for hydrocarbons, minerals, and groundwater resources, a crucial question for agriculture in India. We would like to take this opportunity and feel honored to welcome the chief guest for this edition of Tea Summit 6.0, Dr. Harsh Kumar Gupta. Over to you, sir.
Please unmute.
Sir, you are muted, sir, please.
A very good morning. I'm really impressed with whatever I have heard and read about Arush. And a footfall of 63,000 people is not a mean achievement. So you have grown from strength to strength. And the thing which impressed me most is that the aim that you have quoted bridges the gap between technology and society. This is something is very important for all of us. You see, in spite of all the developments globally, scientific, technological, administrative, everything, we are now in the 22nd year of the 21st century. In the first 21 years of the 22nd century, we have lost more lives in earthquakes and resulting tsunamis than the entire 20th century. So that raises a lot of questions. And it literally tells that the fruits of science and technology have not reached the masses, have not reached being applied. So today I took up the case of setting up Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System. I take you back to 6th of December, 2004, the morning time at 9:30, there was a massive earthquake, MW 9.2 at Sumatra. Now, earthquake magnitudes are little deceptive. A magnitude 6 earthquake is like one Hiroshima kind of bomb. Magnitude 7 is 30 times bigger, 8 is 30 into 30, 9 is 30 into 30 into 30. So you can imagine the size of this earthquake. The tsunami created by that reached various parts of the Indian Ocean. Imagine at 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday morning at Marina Beach, people are having a leisurely walk, enjoying the sun. And then they see suddenly the sea goes back because a tsunami has troughs and crests. So if the trough hits you first, there'll be withdrawal of the sea. And people who don't know, the word tsunami was not known in India to general persons. So they just walked into that open ocean, picked up fish and shells and all that, without realizing that a much bigger crest will follow. And that's really what happened. That tsunami claimed 250,000 plus lives in the South and Southeast Asia. Now, tsunami is a pretty well understood phenomenon globally, but somehow we did not have a tsunami warning system for the Indian Ocean where we lie. And the question came that we must have a tsunami warning system for the Indian Ocean. And there were various suggestions that we should go to UNESCO, we should go to this, go to that. What I was very worried about was the false alarms given in tsunamis. Because if you give a false alarm, people move out, and you give 3 false alarms and no one will listen to you. So somewhere in February of 2005, another tsunami alert was given, alarm was given, and almost 10 million people of the east coast of India, basically from Tamil Nadu, moved away from the sea coast. And that time I was on a flight from Hyderabad from Chennai to Delhi. I was at that time Secretary of Department of Ocean Development. So there were so many calls, and I called my counterpart in Indonesia, where the earthquake had occurred, and asked that, is there a tsunami? He said, sir, there's no tsunami here. So if the tsunami has not hit Indonesia, there's no way it will hit India. So when I informed this to the news people, media, they were not interested in it, because by this time they've hooked the entire Southeast Asia to tsunami warning, and with that goes all the advertisements, etc., etc. And of course, there was no tsunami there. So this really hit me that we have to have a system for the Indian Ocean where we can clearly say, you see, occurrence of an earthquake is a necessary but not sufficient condition for a tsunami to occur. For tsunami to occur, the earthquake should be of large enough size. It should occur below the ocean bed and should displace adequate amount of water for tsunami to be generated. So we can locate earthquakes within 3 minutes anywhere in the world, but whether the earthquake has generated tsunami or not takes a much longer time, because as soon as the waves reach the tide gauges, etc., it can take several minutes. So this was a thing which we wanted to overcome. So Intergovernmental Commission of Oceanography, there was a huge meeting. They had 200 country members, and there I proposed that we will set up ocean bottom pressure recorders in the tsunami-genic zones in the Indian Ocean. Because unlike the Pacific Ocean, where the entire coastline is capable of hosting a tsunami-genic earthquake, when it comes to the Indian Ocean, there are only 2 patches. Java, Sumatra to Andaman Nicobar Island is a stretch of 4,000 kilometers. And in the Arabian Bay, there is Arabian Sea, there is a small portion of Makran coast which can host a tsunami. So I said that we would be happy to set up a tsunami warning system where we are able to discriminate by false alarms, and the way out is that you plant ocean bottom pressure recorders in the immediate vicinity of these tsunami-genic zones. And what happens that in the ocean, there are waves all the time, 5 meter, 10 meter waves. but they die very fast with depth. At a depth of a kilometer or so, the ocean is very quiet. Whereas when a tsunami takes place, you have moved the entire column of water. So if you put a ocean better pressure recorder in the vicinity of tsunami gearing zone, then as soon as the earthquake occurs, we get to know the earthquake has occurred. But whether earthquake has generated a tsunami or not, we'll get the signal from the ocean bottom pressure recorders. When I made this proposal in Paris, no one believed me. So I said, you take 15 or 20 days time to give me an example where a tsunami in Indian Ocean has been generated from a source other than these two which I have specified. The fact remains that in the 20th century, there were close to 800 tsunamis in the Pacific Ocean, small and large, and none in the Indian Ocean. And the other reason that you cannot deploy these ocean bottom pressure recorders in the Pacific is that the entire 13,000 line kilometer of Pacific Ocean is capable of generating such earthquakes. So then also the time they occur in the immediate vicinity of the continent, so time left to issue warning, etc., is minimal. Whereas in our case, an earthquake occurring at Sumatra, etc., takes at least 15 minutes time to reach Andaman Nicobar. And as far as the East Coast, Tamil Nadu is concerned, it takes about 30 minutes time. So another meeting was called in Mauritius in the month of April, and they all agreed that yes, what Harsh Gupta has said is correct. There is no other tsunami zone. And then the government of India got totally behind me, and we were able to set up an Indian Ocean Tsunami Warning System. We started in 2005 and we finished it in 28 months' time by 2007. And this system has been functioning from 2007 onwards till now. Not a single false alarm has been given, and all the tsunamis of earthquakes generated tsunamis in the Indian Ocean have been properly coordinated and advisories are issued. In addition to that, we are helping all the nations in the Indian Ocean region. What happens that Indian Ocean countries can be divided into two categories. Those which are close to the tsunami-genic earthquake zones, so they can contribute to generate a tsunami warning or tsunami advisory. And the countries which are far located, they should be able to act on a tsunami advisory. Suppose I tell you that in Chennai, tomorrow a 3 meter or after 1 hour, a 3 meter wave will come, what will you do? So for that is necessary that we map the shallow bathymetry and near coast topography to see that how much a 3 meter wave will inundate. This all has been done for the entire Indian Ocean coastline. And that's what we are advising all other countries. We have these courses once every year. Countries come and do everything with us. So I just wanted to make aware the young generation today through their medium that nothing is impossible, and no one believed in 2004 or 5 when we said we'll set up a tsunami warning system. This Harsh, are you kidding? Because India has no experience in that. But the experience came, and believe me, it is all done indigenously, absolutely indigenously, with the cooperation of all the science departments, technological and everything. So I thought I will just highlight this issue. I think I've completed my 10 minutes, so I'd like to stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The sagacious words will be carried forward by us for years to come. We are beyond honored to have you as a chief guest of this historic edition of the Tea Summit. We are very glad to hear that you have been connected with us. Listening to you talk about Arush in such high regards inspires us to work harder and together towards this fest. You have surely inspired our audience, and we thank you for your gracious presence as a chief guest to this summit.
Thank you very much.
This has inspired us to our core to become better innovators and torchbearers of progress. We thank you for gracing us with your presence. To proceed further with the ceremony, I'd like to take this opportunity and introduce our esteemed guest of honor, Mr. E.D. Gemmis. Mr. Gemmis is a renowned professor of theoretical chemistry at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Sir is the recipient of the prestigious Padma Shri Award along with other commendable awards. Being the best in his field, Sir is also a founding director of the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, Thiruvananthapuram. Sir It's a pleasure to have you in the panel. And without further ado, we would like to hand over the stage to you.
Well, thank you. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to share this screen with all of you. It's very nice to be here, especially after getting this very, very exciting presentation from Dr. Harsh Gupta on tsunami. I have a small presentation, so I will try to share the screen. It's not that I need a presentation, but after having taught undergraduates at Indian Institute of Science for the last 7 years, every year giving a course, I felt it is good to talk, but we are not having the chalk and board to talk, so I have decided to have some slides. Let me try sharing. Right. You're able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. We are
Yes.
able to see your screen.
Yeah, see, my issue here is that, we are all after innovations, and we are succeeding in innovating and solving our problems. But the quality of our innovation depends on the passion that we have in that field. And not everyone is in a position to reach there always. We get into some field and then, of course, we innovate in that field. We are not sure whether we have reached. So that is my point in the presentation. That is, we would like to strive hard to be able to do what we love to do, what we have a passion to do, and what we have an aptitude to do, not just what comes along. It's not necessary that everybody is a genius to do this. Genius, of course, will do, but even others. It's a question of learning to ask questions, and especially early on. If we tend to ask questions early on, we will see that they are general. What I mean by this is that if you ask questions to a PhD student who is completing the thesis, his questions will be in that highly specialized area. He wouldn't go left and right. But if you ask someone who is just starting a PhD program or a master's, he would be more general, but already in a subject. Someone who is doing a PhD in physics will not really think about civil engineering problem, or somebody who is studying biology may not talk about mathematics. But if you go down further, and if you look at a student who is just joining an UG program, undergraduate program, perhaps there is a possibility that he might or she might speak in all subjects, questions in all subjects, but that's not really happening, unfortunately, in our system, and I will come back to this. The best true spirit we see in school. In fact, in the 8th class, if you go and ask a question, and I have tried this in the 8th class and in the UG and PG and PhD stages, a simple question. Let me give an example. And this is where I wouldn't ask questions, but in the 8th class, if we ask this question, that we have a flush tank and it uses a lot of water. Now, what is the way to save water? We have a problem of water. Each time we flush, we lose water, and it takes only about 3-4 probing questions before an 8th class student will come out with a solution that, yes, you could turn up the lid upside down, make a hole in the middle, do a little plumbing, and after flushing, the water should actually come through. The water should actually come through and fall here, and you wash hands, and of course, there is a hole here, it fills and then it stops. You don't open a tap, you don't close a tap. Now, this question is easily obtained from a 8th class student, but I can tell you, I have tried this in the 12th class, in BSc, MSc, and even PhD students. The higher you go, the longer they take to get this solution. In other words, the natural tendency to get a question and an answer is a lot more in the open-minded school students. And as we go up, we seem to close our ability to ask questions in different areas. Now, this is not a hypothetical question. Most of the flush tanks in Japan are already like this. We have probably millions of them in India. It takes only about 100 or 200 rupees worth of effort and we should convert all of them. The reason I'm saying is that innovation need not be at the cutting edge of knowledge. It has to be at every level. Now, for this, one has to have a breadth of knowledge. And obviously, when you look back, in the beginning of human civilization, everybody did everything. And then we had specializations. In many ways, a young mind is almost in a civilizational beginning. He can ask anything. And we have to make sure everybody retains that feeling, that way of asking questions. That's what is needed. In fact, passion and aptitude should come together. One should be able to do what one loves to do. But one should not be carried away by a romantic idea, for example, oh, I will do research on the origin of universe, especially if one doesn't have the mathematical ability to do it. One has to do things that one has the right aptitude. And the point is that one should be able to get to that point, and most people are not able to find the passion and aptitude together. We do what we get to do, but we are not getting often what we would love to do. And my observations from these are all from personal experiences, and I would say that these are all comments just to make you think whether you have actually got to the point where you are loving what you do and you're doing what you love. Not everyone gets a chance. Now, specializations and interdisciplinarity is what is needed. I talk about, for example, a mathematics student. When I was beginning as a PhD student, there was a mathematics scholar there, mathematics student. He did an undergraduate degree in mathematics, did PhD, continued in mathematics for next almost 15 years. And after 15 years, he thought, well, maybe I should shift. And he was open enough and shifted. And the name is familiar, Eric Lander, is a leading name in genomics, right? We have a tendency to put down humanities and social sciences in most of the institutions in the country. These are very unfortunate events, because the place where I studied, top 10% of the SAT scholars that are applying opt for history as a major. And people have checked to see what have they done in the last 100 years, all these history majors. And they find that in the last 40 years, most of them have gone on to become the CEOs of multinational organizations, because they have seen how history shaped the last 100 years, and they can project how an organization will be in the next 50 years or 100 years. Those visionaries are needed. It's not just technology. It's more than that. It is technology plus something more. But let me again say, we should get to do what we love to do. I talk about a history student who joined along with my year for PhD. And though he was in history as a major, he came and said, I would like to do theoretical physics. And sure enough, we asked him, what drives you to do this? And he said, I wanted to study history because I would like to go backwards in time, see what has happened in history. And he said, with history, I can go only so far, and I want to go even beyond. Then he said, well, the only way is to go to physics. And he joined physics. He wanted to see the origin of universe. He started string theory, and the mathematics that he needed to develop to follow string theory, he got a Fields Medal. The name is familiar to many of you, Edward Witten, right? So these are names that I say because people went from one area to another. In our system, the early UG specialization is an antithesis to this whole thing. You are coming in and put into a box. Even in the IITs, you are put into a box in, computer science in IIT Bombay, right? Or civil engineering in IIT Kharagpur. Even at the first semester, you have no chance to change. And we haven't bothered, and we think our institutions are great. We are doing well because we have 1.4 billion people, and a lot of them are very bright, and they will do despite all the restrictions. Now, in IISc, we have started in a small way to have an undergraduate education where people join. They take courses in mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, everything else, and then decide after almost 2 years what they would really like to concentrate on. But even here, we do not have humanities and social sciences. We do not have performing arts, fine arts, communication, and anything of that kind. In other words, we have a long way to go. And right now is the chance. I say right now is the chance because the new education policy is allowing us a chance to change. If you do not change, we are losing an opportunity. In fact, SRM as a private university would be easily able to change much faster than the government institutions. Our IITs should be more like MIT, which has economists getting Nobel Prizes, right? We are, the new education policy is really striving hard for us to say, look, you have to do this, but we have to take the lead. There is no other way. We have to be looking at more general things. See, for example, we have the example of a dentist got 2 Grammy Awards. That is Ricky Kedge from Bangalore. I mean, he has residence here as well. Now, Ricky Kedge was forced to be a dentist by his father, even though he didn't want it. After the degree, he went and gave the degree to his father and said, look, I would like to go to music. And he did. He did very well. So is the case with the scientist Rahul Ram, son of Mohan Ram, a famous biologist. He was forced by his father to study physics, do a PhD. He actually has a PhD from Cornell. He came back and said, look, enough is enough. I have the interest in music. Started the rock band Indian Ocean, a very successful one, right? What I suggest is that you all keep moving till you get to where you want to reach. What is your passion? Even if you are in SRM in whatever subject, if you do not think that that is your passion, feel free to move and then get to your passion and then you can soar. Not until then. Even without getting there, you will innovate, but not innovate at the highest level. We need to innovate at the highest level so that we become the best country in the world, so that we can, get across anybody. And we have the capability. It's just that we should let our education system, we should force our parents to decide that our children have to decide on their own. The ones who were brave, Ricky Kedge has done it, so is Rahul Ram and anybody else. It is not as though one should not go to computer science in IIT Bombay, but not all the top 5,000 rankers in in the JEE cannot statistically have that interest. It stands not to reason, right? So we have to look far and wide. This is what I wanted to tell. The message is that innovation, yes, innovation at its best. To have innovation at its best, you have to be doing what you love and according to your aptitude, not what you have got through an entrance exam. That is put into a box, not by getting into the best institute for a subject that you do not like or for the best subject in a bad institute, just because somebody else told you. That is not what is going to lead our country to be number one. We have the new education policy and we should be able to do really what we would like to do. Now, well, I think I will stop this. My experience is that I had a question when I was a first year BSc student. It took me next 30 years to answer that question even slightly. I did other things in between. Now I have a question that I started 15 years ago. It keeps me going. It's about graphene, graphite and graphene, equivalent of borophenene and borophytes. Borophytes don't exist. Borophenes didn't exist until 2 years ago, but now they exist and they may have properties beyond graphene. But ask questions which is according to your expertise and love. And that's my message. And I think I would have probably taken the 10 minutes. I will stop at this stage and I thank you and Arush and all the participants for the attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that inspirational and motivational, especially needed for our students. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and your motivational words. I'm sure that the audience learned something new and will take away a valuable lesson from the experience. The streamlined path of working towards new innovation is realistic thinking and expanding in the horizon of our mind. The acceptance towards change and idea of change is never too late to be thought. Just follow your passion and ask questions. Thank you very much again, sir, for your inspiring and motivational words. Proceeding further with the event, I'd like to take the honor of introducing our mentor who has been
with us since the inception of T-Summit and is guiding us for T-Summit 6.0, Dr. Atul Gurtu. Sir is a leading high-energy physicist of India who has participated in numerous experimental projects in collaboration with Sir Geneva from 1969 to 2011. Sir joined TIFR Mumbai in 1967 and retired in 2011. As a senior professor, after a career spanning 4 decades, Sir has been our mentor for the past 5 editions, and we'd like to take this opportunity to thank him for his perennial support and guidance. With this being said, I'd now like to invite Sir to please address our audience. Over to you, Atul Gurtu, sir.
Well, good morning. And it's always a pleasure to be with T-Summit, and in particular, Professor Ratinam has been extremely kind in always offering me to, visit there when it was possible, and I have been attending these online. And so, greetings to all of you, in particular, Professor Ratinam and Professor Gopal, and I've just listened to these 2 extremely nice presentations by Professor Gupta and Professor Jemis, really very inspiring. And I think I really appreciate this thing Professor Jemis said, that, you have to go for your, what you like to do. And even if you don't make, well, as somebody said, even if you don't make money, you will enjoy what you are doing, right? I mean, so I think that's extremely important. And last year also I had mentioned a few things. I am not going to say anything in particular about a particular subject or thing, but I think I would just like to again bring your attention, and in particular the attention of the students and the people, the young minds who are now going to graduate soon. They are going to enter this exciting world of many problems, actually. As we all know, I mean, you keep hearing all this. There are severe problems, and I think 2 of them are known, and people are trying to address them. And I had thought about some of these things. And one is of course climate change. That's an obvious thing. You have I'm sure all of us have seen recent, very recent projections about how the oceans are rising. I mean, how many centimeters per year and so on. And we've seen last year and the last few years, the kind of, wildfires that are happening in places where not many wildfires happened earlier, or the frequency and the intensity is becoming more. You had this strange occurrence that in Canada, there were temperatures of 49 degrees centigrade, which was a totally sort of outlier, which nobody had ever thought about. And this is of course climate change, and it's happening, and there are many fine minds trying to do something about it. And of course, what is connected with that, of course, is the problem of being able to generate clean energy. And one is trying to go in for these renewable sources, the solar, the wind, etc. But I have always said, one has to be careful. One has to actually work out the, consequences of everything. Because for example, the kind of things that we or people have done, or, mankind has done up to now, they didn't do it out of any bad motive or something. Those were the natural things to do. For example, the internal combustion engine was the most compact way of, transportation. And of course, well, that's why it became very popular. And there was enough resources available. Similarly, generating energy by using oil or these coal-fired plants, that was a sensible thing to do. However, the needs have multiplied, and so you end up with what always happens with anything, that there is this law of unintended consequences, that you think something is extremely good for you and for the society at large, and of course it is. But then the thing multiplies to an extent, and better it is, the sort of more popular it becomes. And then eventually it becomes so much that the that the system can't take it anymore. That is basically what has happened. So again, while I am sure many of you in your later life are going to be hopefully working on some innovative things, trying to sort these problems out. But do remember one thing, that as I said, there is this law of unintended consequences. And okay, let me just point out, for example, people say solar power, or let's go in for electric vehicles. Excellent idea, yes. However, has anybody ever thought that of all the, I don't know how many millions or 100 millions of cars or vehicles there are, if everybody had a battery which had to be disposed of, well, we talk about difficulties of disposing of nuclear waste. What about the billions of batteries you will have to dispose of? Where are you going to dispose them of? Frankly, I don't have an answer, and I don't think humanity has an answer right now. Or maybe a fusion will work, maybe, and if it does, well, we are in luck. Okay, but this fusion project has been going on from the 1950s, and we are still at the stage of the ITER, this experimental fusion reactor, which hopefully will show that you can in fact break even in energy. This again brings me back to the thing that, what do we do in the immediate future? Okay, for example, energy generation, what do we do? To me, I think it's better to have a kind of mix and match kind of situation where you have to, for the time being, have something with oil, something with nuclear, because actually nuclear is very clean. The only problem is that the radioactive waste which is left behind creates a problem. But for a temporary measure, one could do some kind of a mix and match of these various energy energy producing sources and try to do something with it. And again, solar power, again, the problem really is that at night, what do you do? There is no solar power at night. So you again need these enormous storage batteries or some other storage system, and you are back to the battery problem. So anyway, these are things which need to be addressed. Okay, these are the kind of technological things. But there's another thing I have been pointing out for some time, and which let me again put it before you. We have this extreme advance in artificial intelligence and robotics, which leads to the situation where, you can imagine a world maybe 100 years down the line where everything will be done by some robot. Okay, what are human beings gonna do? There are 8 billion human beings right now. Okay, of course, a few of them are doing very interesting things like producing music, or they are doing science, or they're doing some research. But can you imagine what are so many billions of human beings supposed to do? If all the agriculture and all the factory work and all the mining and everything is taken over by artificial intelligence and robots, which are getting more and more sophisticated by the day, this is a genuine problem, and it's going to happen in a few decades. So I just wanted to, at this point in time, just sort of point out a few things about the climate change, the kind of things available. What can one do about it? Surely one needs to invent better methods, try to work out better solutions, and try to take some kind of a composite mix and match approach. But also keep in mind, it's going to be a serious problem about this robotics and artificial intelligence, because the people are going to become redundant. Really redundant. One has to think about it. I hope I am wrong. I hope there will be enough avenues of some very interesting variety that will be discovered, which will keep everybody occupied. But this is something I just thought, let me just mention it. Here are these young minds wanting to have something to chew upon. So please think about these things, and you are open to the world, and the world is open for you. So with that, I'll just stop. And And thanks once again to Arush and to T Summit. And we are really fortunate and privileged actually to be associated with the T Summit right from 2016. And so with that, I would like to express that please have a wonderful meeting over these 2 days and come out with some projects and some thinking about okay, what all goes on and what we're going to do in future, etc., etc. So with that, I'll stop. Thank you all very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words and your words of wisdom, sir. We are very privileged to have you here with us and gracing us with your presence. I'm sure your address has resonated with the audience and inspired them to work harder and be the better versions of themselves. You have been a constant source of inspiration, and we are very grateful for your insight today, sir.
It's 12 o'clock.
As we near the conclusion of T Summit 6.2 inaugural ceremony, we cannot overlook the efforts of those who have stood by us as pillars of motivation and encouraged us to keep striving towards infinity. Keeping that in mind, I'd like to introduce our alumni mentor, Mr. Aman Johri, and our alumni moderators for the session, Mr. Aviroop Roy Chaudhary and Mr. Atishay Jain. Mr. Aman Johri, fondly known as the India's Tony Stark, is the CEO of an aerospace and defense firm based in Mumbai. He develops next generation weapons technology for the Indian Armed Forces. He has won several accolades like Scotch Entrepreneur of the Year at the Parliament of India and Defense Innovation of the Year in 2018. Aman is an airborne weapons specialist, astronautics engineer, helicopter pilot, and the youngest lifetime member of the prestigious Rotary Wings Society of India. Mr. Aman serves on several policy panels with the Government of India on matters related to national security. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of Team Arush for being here, being a part of T Summit 6.0, and for guiding us into making this event a premier one. Mr. Aviroop is an alumni of the 2019 batch of SRMIST and currently working as an analyst at Deloitte USA. Mr. Atishay is an alumni of the batch 2021 SRMIST and is currently a digital transformation analyst for Anheuser-Busch InBev, the biggest beer manufacturer in the world. I'd like to thank you both for taking the time for your busy schedules to be here and moderate and delegate the guides.
As we approach the end of the inaugural ceremony, we'd like to take this opportunity to call upon the administrator of RH22, Mr. Atigya Dubey, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Just like Johann Wolfgang von Goethe has beautifully portrayed, whatever you do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius and power and magic in it. On this momentous occasion of the commencement of the 6th edition of Technical Summit, T Summit 6.0, I, Atigya Dubey, Administrator of RH22, have the honor of addressing this illustrious gathering to deliver the vote of thanks. The correct representation of the stature of an institution are the ideas, vision, and hard work of its founders, teachers, and students. This occasion would be incomplete without giving them the recognition that they deserve. I am immeasurably grateful to our esteemed founding chancellor, Shri Dr. T.R. Parivendram sir, for his ideas and the elegance of stabilizing this legacy. We are all proud to be a part of the SRM group of institutional educational institutions, a model of innovation and advancement for more than 3 decades. I must mention my profound feeling of gratitude to our esteemed person for his prestige in the field of education that stand firm to the ground. I also express my most sincere thanks to the distinguished person, the Pro-Chancellor Academics, Shri Dr. P. Satyanarayanan sir, and Pro-Chancellor Administration, Dr. Ravi Panchamutta sir of SRM Institute of Science and Technology for their immense support throughout the time. I'm extremely grateful to our illustrious Vice Chancellor, Dr. C. Mathumis Chilvan sir, a man of prominence in the sphere of education and research, for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best. standing as the pillar of strength, even in the difficult times of pandemic. His word of wisdom kept us all moving and embraced us with the constant motivation. I also express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed registrar, Dr. S. Ponnuswamy, sir, a man of his eminence who has led this institution to significant heights. Our heartfelt gratitude to Professor T.V. Gopal, sir, who serves as the Dean of Engineering and Technology, the light of wisdom, and a mentor in our pursuit of technological revolution. I'm immeasurably grateful to our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Harsh Kumar sir, for his insightful words that have further rooted the importance of innovation and creation in young minds. Your strategic and tactical skills will be constant source of motivation and inspiration for all freshmen in this industry. My heartfelt gratitude to our guest of honor, Mr. E.D. James, for his illuminating presence and insightful words, which have now lit a spark in the heart and minds of everybody present here. I would also like to thank our special guest and our mentor over the last 5 editions of Tea Summit, Dr. Atul Gurtu sir, under whose guidance we have learned, grown, and flourished. Sir, your enlightening word has given us the motivation to rise together in the spirit of innovation. I cannot thank all the dignitaries present here enough for taking time out of their busy schedule to embrace us for this occasion. The deepest appreciation to all the heads of departments, deans, faculty members for their immense support and contribution. I would also like to take a moment to thank the SRM maintenance and the staff members for their contribution and the organizing team in carrying out this event to success. I would like to express our profound gratitude to the convener of ARUSH and Director of Alumni Affairs, Professor Dr. A. Ratnam sir, for his visionary leadership and significant contributions to this institution and the whole student community. We wish the Tea Summit all the best and eagerly look forward to all the deliberations that will take place over the next 2 days. I would also like to extend my best wishes to all the delegates who have come here from across the country to help carry this legacy forward in a fruitful way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator, for those graceful words. It has been no less than an Herculean task by the faculty members of SRM Institute and by the members of Team ARUSH to organize a flagship event of such caliber in the online version. The organizing committee of Tea Summit 6.0 has brought together the talented delegations from some of the most prestigious institutions of the nation. Amidst the guidance of such illustrious guests, this summit is destined to usher a new era of social change.
We thank our esteemed dignitaries for gracing this momentous occasion with their austere presence. They have elevated the stature of the summit, and now the responsibility falls upon us, the organizing committee and the delegations, to exceed that benchmark. The following 2 days will be about fostering a spirit of harmony and innovation and using that spirit to kindle the torch of progress. A nation can only progress if its young citizens are the pioneers of change, and we are fortunate enough to have the very best of them at this summit. This historic online edition shall remain as a proof of our unwavering efforts in the face of seemingly unsurmountable challenges.
Tea Summit 6.0 was conceived with the vision of uniting the best and brightest minds of this country. We eagerly await the discussion and the views that shall spark a revolution of change and help us take the questioning first step on the path of collaborative progress. We are honored to host this summit under the aegis of our faculty patrons, including esteemed Vice Chancellor, Sir Dr. C. Muthulichelvam sir, the Dean School of Management, Dr. B. M. Punya sir, who is always the financial advisor for ARUSH, the Dean of College of Engineering and Technology, Dr. T.V. Gopal sir, and the Associate Director, Campus Life, Dr. V. Tirumurgan sir, for always being a synonym with ARUSH and being a guiding force through a thick and thin. Last but not the least, our revered convener, Professor Dr. A. Ratnam sir, without whose guidance, ARUSH would not be the prestigious tech fest that it is today.
With this being said, we now declare this edition of Tea Summit open. We look forward to seeing you in the next session starting at 12:10. I thank everybody present here for their presence, for gracing us with their presence, and wish everyone a good day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, sir. Thank you, Mr. Atul Gupta, sir, Dr. Harsh Gupta, sir, and Mr. E.B. Jain, sir. We'll be starting shortly at 12:10 with the presentation round. All the delegates are requested to join the presentation round exactly sharp at 12:10 or 5 minutes prior. Thank you again for joining us for the inaugural ceremony. We hope that we can deliberate discussions that create a revolution and bring spirit of change throughout the nation. Thank you very much for joining with us for the inaugural ceremony. We will be starting shortly. Thank you again, delegates, dignitaries, and professors for joining in this session. Thank you again, delegates, for joining in this session. We will be starting shortly with the presentation round at 12:10. We request you all to please join the same session, the same link at 12:10 for the presentation round. Delegates, we will be having a short break of another 5 to 10 minutes. Request you all to join the same link in the 10 minutes or so. Thank you very much for being cooperative. Good afternoon, delegates. We will be starting at 12:30. Request if your co-delegates haven't joined, please to ask them to join in. Thank you for your cooperation. We will be starting exactly at 12:30.
Good afternoon, delegates. I hope everybody is ready. We'll be starting the session very soon.
Good afternoon, delegates. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the day one of Conclave of Innovative Ideas by Solution Seeking Youth. We welcome you to the T-Summit 6.0, a two-day conclave where we shall discuss and deliberate over real-world problems. I hope the delegates, after this short break, are well prepared for what we have, for the deliberate discussions we have for the next 2 days.
As an integral part of this summit, It gives us immense pleasure to welcome the alumni moderators of the 6th edition of the Tea Summit. I would take the pleasure to call upon Mr. Avirup Chaudhary, Highlights Organizer, Arush 18, and Mr. Atishay Jain, Public Relations Officer, Arush 20. I request the moderators to please take the stage and recite the guidelines to our delegates.
Hey team, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
All right. Firstly, a very good morning to all the esteemed dignitaries presiding over the panel, the honorable delegates representing their institutions, and all the beloved members in the audience. I'd like to start off by firstly thanking Team Arush for this unique opportunity to interact with the young minds and to brainstorm on some very socially relevant issues. And we're really excited. Let me try unmuting myself, yeah. And on speaking on some of the socially relevant issues, and I speak for both Avirup and myself here. So I'd like to spend some time here to introduce to you all in detail the alumni special mentor and the moderators for Tea Summit 6.0. So I'd like to start off by introducing Aman Johri. Aman Johri is the CEO of an aerospace and defense firm based in Mumbai. He develops next tech generation weapons technology for the Indian Armed Forces. He has won several accolades like Scotch Entrepreneur of the Year at the Parliament of India and Defense Innovation of the Year in 2018. Aman is an airborne weapons specialist, aeronautics engineer, helicopter pilot, and the youngest lifetime member of the prestigious Rotary Wing Society of India. Aman serves on several policy panels with the Government of India on matters related to the national security. And he's fondly known as India's Tony Stark. And we are honored to be sharing the panel with him as the special alumni mentor for Tea Summit 6.0. And now I'd like to move on and introduce the moderators for Tea Summit 6.0. A hobby photographer and aviation and motorsport enthusiast. Avirup is a consultant at Deloitte US India Consulting and works on technologies primarily related to cloud and DevOps automation. He believes in creating products which makes the world simpler and efficient by utilizing ideas which intersect at art and technology. And I'm glad to be sharing this this panel with him, and super excited to be moderating with Avirup. And thank him so much for sharing this with us.
It's the pleasure is likewise, Atishay.
All right, and within the same flow, I'd like to also take this opportunity to share with our audience a little about myself. A proud alumnus of SRM IST Chennai and Arush, I currently work at Anheuser-Busch InBev, which is the world's largest beer making company, where I lead the business and finance process transformation initiatives using a unique center of technology, process optimization, and people management. I believe that continuous problem solving and a solution mindset will prove to what we consider as the most powerful tool to the next generation of leaders. And it keeps me up at the night when I get opportunities to be a part of revolutions such as this conference. And I'd also like to introduce and thank the public relations officers of Arush 22, Suti Chauhan and Abhilasha Singh, who would be co-moderating the sessions with us and helping us out during the entire tenure of Tea Summit 6.0. Once again, on behalf of the moderators, I would like to express deepest gratitude on inviting and letting us be a part of this revolution. And we are super excited to hear some really, really great ideas and solutions to some of the most socially relevant and global problems. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great time as ours.
Well, thank you, Atishay. So before we get into business, let's talk about Tea Summit. I mean, I have been associated